Hello, how are you? How are you? Are you there? Can you hear me? Hello? Are you there? Okay, okay. Now please, you have to have before you your social science notes, and you have to go to the wait. You have to go to page number 6. You have to go to page number 6. Okay, and talking about world population. Okay, so world population, and now please. Okay, okay, very good, very good. Now please. So this is a very interesting theme, and I'd like you to read part of this paragraph. So you have there. Uh, wait. Okay. You have the number two world population, and the first question is how many of us are there currently on Earth? And you have to bear in mind this figure. This figure is 7.5 billion people. And remember that in Spanish, a billion is not the same as in English. In English, a billion is 1,000 million. 1,000 million. So we are now on Earth more than 7.5 billion people. Okay, okay. So, and this was just 3-4 years ago, in 2017. And another very important fact is that the most populated countries in the world are two: China and India. China is even more populated than India, and both the population over 1.3 billion people. So, all in all, almost half of the population on the world on Earth is due to these two great countries, China and India. But China is more populated than India. And 71.4 years was the average life expectancy at birth of the global population in 2015, which means that in that year, people were expected to live up to more than 71, more than 71. And here you have a table with the continent and the population in millions. And you have Asia is the most populated continent in the world, with more than almost 4.5 million billion people. Okay, and then we have Africa, then we have Europe, South America. You remember that for English people and English culture, they distinguish between North America and South America. We consider North America and South America as the same continent, but they divide North America. This is North America, not only the United States, Canada, but also Mexico, and what we call it Central America. This for them, this is North America, and this part here is South America. So South America, it has this population, so 422 million people, and Oceania, almost 40 million people. Okay, it's fewer people than in Spain in Oceania. This is Oceania. So this is Australia, Oceania. Remember, this is Asia, Asia, this is Europe, Africa, this continent, and this is the whole of America. And you want to read um, properly this map, you have to read the colors. So you have to look here. This is the key. This is the key to understand this map. And you have this dark blue. This dark blue is the blue that contains population that is between more than 300 million people until 1.3 billion people. So this is China and this is India. After that, you have this color. Okay, this is navy blue, more or less. Okay, slightly navy blue, and you have this population. This is a lot of population, and this part. Okay, Indonesia, Borneo, Nueva Guinea. Okay, this part, and then we have this kind of light green, and the population is between 100 million until 200 million. And you have Russia here, Russia, Brazil, Nigeria. This is Nigeria. Okay, remember this is the United States. United States has a population of more than 300 million people. The United States, Alaska is part of the United States. And finally, we have Europe. You know you can see the colors. Okay, almost yellow. Portugal, yellow. This is Scandinavia, yellow. This is Central Europe, yellow. This is less than 20 million people. Okay, good. And next text is about the evolution of world population, and you have this text here. 300 years ago, there were less than 1 billion humans living on Earth. This is important. This is very important. So, just 3 centuries ago, population on Earth was less than 1 billion people. Remember that today we are more than 7.5 billion people. But 3 centuries ago, we were on Earth just 1 billion humans living on Earth. And for thousands of years, the population grew only slowly, but in recent centuries, it has jumped dramatically. Can you see? This is a line graph. You studied this kind of graphs. Okay, this is a line graph, and this is the year 2000s, and this is the population. Population is 1 billion, 2 billion, 3, 4, 5, and now we are in this part. Okay, in this part. Okay, and the future is expected to raise. Okay, to increase this population. Okay, later we are going to see kind of video about this part. Okay, and the increase in the world population was 3 times greater than during the entire previous history of humanity. Okay, very good. So now please try to go to this text. Okay, you have to read this text, and then we need to answer these questions. And the text is about the history of world population growth, el crecimiento, la historia del crecimiento de la población mundial. Okay, and you have 4 paragraphs. The first one is that. So, throughout most of history, the world population has been much smaller than it is now. Okay, we know that. Before the invention of agriculture, for example, the human population was estimated to be around 15 million people at most. This image is about the invention of agriculture, a period called Neolithic. Neolithic. Okay, this is the period of the human history when humans um, go away from living in caves and they settle on ground when they discover agriculture. They start taming animals, they domesticate animals, and this is the way in which cities are founded. First little towns, and then cities, and then kingdoms, and then empires. But back then, the human population in the world was estimated to be around 15 million people at most, maybe less. Okay, and then this picture is about the Roman Empire. Okay, this picture represents the Roman Empire. This is the capital, Rome. The introduction of agriculture and gradual movement of humanity into settled communities showed the global population increase gradually to around 300 million by year zero. By year zero. To give you an idea of scale, the Roman Empire, which many regard as one of the strongest empires the world has ever seen, probably contained only around 50 million people at its height. Okay, maximum. That less than the number of people in England today, and more or less the people that are living in Spain. Okay, but back then, in the Roman Empire times, that was the population estimated. Okay, is is few populations, few people if you compare with today, but remember 15 million people in the entire world when the invention of agriculture, in the entire world, and just in the Roman Empire, the population was almost 50 million people. Okay, and then you have here another paragraph. This is a train. Okay, this is a train, and this train represents the industrial revolution with the steam engine. It wasn't until the early 19th century the world population reached 1 billion people. 1 billion is 1,000 million. Here we have 50. 50. And now here we have 1 billion. This is 1,000 million people. Then, as the Industrial Revolution took hold and living standards improved, the rate of population growth increased considerably. Over the next 100 years, the population of the world doubled, reaching 2 billion in the late 1920s. So, just in 1 century, population was twice as much. Okay, 1 billion and 2 billion. Okay, at the end. So, and finally, the 20th century, however, is where population growth really took off. Took off means despegar, cuando la población ya empezó a crecer de una manera incontrolada, ¿no? It took off, and over the past 100 years, the past century, the planet's population has more than tripled in size. This massive increase in human population is largely due to improvements in diet, sanitation, and medicine, especially compulsory vaccination against many diseases. We know these days we know something about that, okay, because people are suffering from coronavirus, okay, and we are waiting for vaccination, vacunas. So this is the text, okay. This is the text. This is the World Population Review. The text is taken from there. It's a very interesting text, and here are our questions. And the first one, attention, is, wait, is, what was the size of the human population during the Paleolithic period? And you have there, kind of chat, and I need you to take part in the chat. So the question is, attention, the question is, what was the size of the human population during the Paleolithic period? Now, I need your contribution. So, Lucas, Paul, what was the size of the human population during the Paleolithic period? What do you think? Only thing you have to do is go to the text there, okay, and look for it, So, Paleolithic period is, size was 5 million people, and you need to take notes about that. No? Oh, sorry. Can you see me now? Can you see me now? Can you see me now? No? Can you understand me? Okay, so, attention. Sorry. Attention. The question is, remember, the question is, what was the size of the human population during the Paleolithic period? And you have to go, okay, thank you. Now, and you have to go to this part of the text. And the answer is, Paleolithic period is 15 million people, okay? Do you understand? 15 million people. Good, Vera, very good. Now, pay attention. Second question is, in what year were there around 300 million people on Earth? In what year? And to do that, you have to go to the text again and look for this figure, 300 million people. So, and the year is 0. AD means ante domino. So, this is the year when supposedly Jesus Christ was born. Okay? So the answer is AD 0. AD 0. You have to take notes. Okay? AD 0. Then, next question. How many people did the Roman Empire have at its peak, at maximum? So, question C. How many people did the Roman Empire have at its peak? And waiting for your answers. How many people did the Roman Empire have at its peak? And go to the Roman Empire paragraph, and at its peak is height around 50 million people. Okay, 50 million people. This is the answer. Okay, let's go to the next question. Now, D. Compare the Roman Empire at its height, maximum, at its peak, and England now. Which one would be more populated? Roman Empire back then or England now? Remember, Roman Empire, around 50 million people back then. And you have to compare Roman Empire and England, and you have to say which one would be more populated. So very good, Alvaro, and the answer is here. Okay, Attention, that's less than the number of people in England today. So today in England there are more people that people were in the Roman Empire at its peak. So the answer is England. This is the answer. Okay, okay, take notes. Now, E. When did the world population reach 1 billion people? Remember, 1 billion people is 1,000 million. When did the world population reach 1 billion people? And to check the answer, you have to go to the text and look for 1 billion people here. When? When? In the 19th century. This is the answer. In the 19th century. This is the answer. Okay? Very good. Look at Nasir. Very good. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Okay, now go to the next question. And what made the world population double from 1 to 2 billion people? You have to say a fact, something that happened to go from 1 to 2 billion people. And now you have to go back to the text. You have here 1 billion people, and here below you have 2 billion people. And what happened? The industrial revolution. Okay, when new factories appeared. Okay, so the answer is the industrial revolution. The industrial revolution. Okay, good. And now, please, next question. So, G, when did the population of the world reach 2 billion people? And you have to go back to the text and look for this figure, 2 billion people. 2 billion people was in the late 1920s. Okay, 1920s means 1920, 1921, 1922. Okay, this is the answer. Okay, remember, when you have a text and then you have answers, you have to go back to the text to look for the answers. You have to understand the text. We're finishing this part. Now, attention. H. Why did the human population increase so dramatically in the 20th century? Why did the human population increase so dramatically in the 20th century? And the answer is here, 20th century, and you have to read again the text. Okay, and the answer is this massive increase in human population is largely due to here improvements in diet, sanitation, and medicine. Okay, this is the correct answer. Okay, because of improvements in diet, sanitation, and medicine, especially vaccination. Okay, vacunas, vaccination. Okay, against many diseases. And finally, about how many of us are there now on Earth? You have to remember the correct figure. About how many of us are there now on Earth? Now, attention. Can anybody remember? Very good, Lucas. Very good, Vera. Claudio. Can anybody remember the population, the figure for the population we have on Earth? You need to tell a number. How many of us are now on Earth? And the answer is this. Okay, 7.5 billion people. 7.5 million people. Okay, good, very good, very good, very good. And now, attention. I like you to watch a kind of video. I'm not very sure. A kind of video about world population and attention, because I think it's interesting. So I don't know